You beautiful people have spoken. What are the position groups you're most confident in, least confident in, and what would I change about the way you guys ranked all this?
You are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Spartan friends, Spartan family, Locked On Spartans listeners, thank you all so much for tuning in to Locked On Spartans. It's your team in green and white 5 days a week right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Guys, please rate, review, subscribe, comment below the position group that you are most confident in, and also, if you want to go there too, even least confident in, because we're going to cover all that here in segment 1, and then in segment 2 and 3. Yeah, you're going to know this guy. It's Brian Lewerke, former quarterback, friend of the show. He's been on a handful of times. We're going to talk about Aidan Chiles. We're going to talk about his playing days when it pertains to week 1, what kind of emotions, preparation has to go into opening up the season. But guys, hey, before that, again, you, the beautiful folks out there, have spoken, because maybe you were hip to this, maybe you were not, maybe you're one of the few hundred people that actually voted in these things, but day by day so far the last few weeks, we did a little pulse check on your thoughts on the position groups here at Michigan State. So, for example, I would say, hey, we are feeling blank about the running backs room, and the options for all these position groups were extremely confident, kind of worried, and extremely worried. So without further ado, let's put up the fancy graphic right here on YouTube. Now, if you are listening on podcast, if you are whizzing down I-75 right now, please keep your eyes on the road. Please do not put on YouTube. I will go through this list very quickly, ranking it 1 through 9. This is how many position groups that we categorized here for this nice little scientific poll here. Number 1, running absolutely away with it, wide receivers is by far the position group getting the most confidence, with 95% of you guys being confident. Number 2 was quarterback with 86% confidence. Tight ends also got 86% confidence. They were just a tick behind quarterbacks in the voting. Number 4, linebackers. 75% of you guys are confident in them this season. Offensive line, number 5. 61% of you are confident this season. Number 6, the secondary. 51% of you are confident. So now we're going to start dipping below 50% confident for the last 3 items here. Number 7, your special teams. 43% confidence. Number 8, defensive line, just 23% of you are confident. And then running backs, 26% of you are confident. And as I say that out loud, I realize that, hey, I kind of screwed that up. 8 and 9 should be reversed, but still, that does not speak a lot of confidence that defensive line and running backs are both south of 30% here. So just a little bit of news and notes, guys, I just want to throw out here. First, who do I think is too low here on this little rankings that we all did together? And even though they are on the upper half of this whole chart, I think linebacker is still getting a little too little run, I want to say. 75% confidence. Like, that's not nothing. Like, that's not like, oh, this fan base is teetering on if they're going to be okay or not. But instead of 3 in every 4 fans, feeling pretty good about this, I think it should be like 9 of every 10 fan being in confidence. And I understand why there might be a little apprehension to not feel completely sold on the linebacker position here. You're missing Kyle Halladay. Jordan Turner had a really strong season for Michigan State last year. I mean, those are some guys that had some pretty decent years at Michigan State. Well, Jordan Turner just 1 year, but you get my point. Those are names that we know that are no longer here. Okay, it's Jordan Hall going from a backup last year to now the starting middle linebacker. Yes, Wayne Matthews comes back, but what on earth's going to happen with that third linebacker role? Guys, I think that this linebacker unit is going to be a lot more athletic than it was last season. Just like we named Cal Halladay, Jordan Turner, fine linebackers, good numbers in some games, but the guys that are going to be stepping up this year offer more speed, offer more athleticism than those guys did last year. So your starters right now, Jordan Hall, Wayne Matthews, probably Darius Snow right now for that third linebacker position. But your backups are Brady Pretzloff, Marcellus Polium, Ice Moa, Samaj Bridgman. Hey, let's give a shout out to Sam Edwards right now too. Guys, that's going to be a more athletic, twitchier linebacker group, the kind of linebackers that Joe Rossi, your defensive coordinator, likes here in East Lansing. So, just more notes to have here. I keep flip-flopping between who should be the caboose of this ranking, right? Like, should it be defensive line? Should it be running backs? I think that, we are all in agreement that, yeah, those are the two that belong at the bottom right now. Maybe for a little different reasons, because running back is just completely unknown. The only guys that returned from last year, Mekhi Frazier, Brandon Tolles, they combined for 14 carries last year. It's not like we got a lot of tape on them as two true sophomores coming back this year, or redshirt freshmen, I should say. But yeah, but then again, the defensive line, I think they get so lowly rated because we remember the graphics from last year of, hey, 6 games with no sacks, not great. Now, I think I would give defensive line the nod over the running back room because they were solid at stopping the run last year, if not for nothing else. Yes, the pass rush was not great, as we've reiterated many a time here this offseason. But they were in the upper half, if not even upper quarter, in a few different run defense metrics last year. Like, they were really good at stuff rate, which is stopping your opponent at or behind the line of scrimmage. So they have the bones of a good run defense. A lot of those guys, especially in the middle, do come back. But then again, I'm arguing with myself here because I think you can get by with just an okay at best running back room if this is all that the running back room ever becomes. Because, look, your offensive line, if they are up to snuff, if they are an adequate unit, well, then they can make any running back look at least decent, okay? It all starts up front. But it also all starts up front on defense, too, because if the defensive line is just okay at best, well, that's not going to help your secondary. That's not going to help your linebackers. That's not going to help get to the quarterback. That's going to spell a lot of trouble here. So maybe it is defensive line that should be at the bottom, because I can convince myself that, okay, fine, we'll live with it. Running back room, you can still have a pretty decent offense even with that going on. Now, a few things surprised me, guys, with, how you guys voted for things, how you guys rank things. Nothing like jarring. Like, I wasn't, oh my God, so shocked to see wide receivers get that much votes. But there was one thing that I was a little bit surprised about with wide receivers, and that was 2.6% of you said that you guys are extremely worried about wide receivers. Now, again, this was on the open internet. This was on Twitter. It could have very well have been cornerbacks that Michigan State will eventually face this season. Maybe they saw this poll, and that's why they're extremely worried. But in no just world should Michigan State fans be even slightly concerned, albeit extremely concerned, about the running back or the wide receiver room going into this upcoming season. There is one for sure NFL guy in Nick Marsh. There's one probably NFL guy in Omari Kelly. And then who's to say that, hey, maybe Christian McCray will play his way up there one day? I don't know. Like, Ronnie Bullard going from Valdosta State to Michigan State to the NFL in 3 years would be quite difficult, but impressive. It's not like there's never been a D2 guy in the NFL before. So, yeah, I think that's going to be Michigan State's most talented room on this team. I just couldn't believe that 2.6%, even though that only amounts to a handful of people. Oh, God, come on, guys. What else surprised me is that quarterback. It wasn't that, that you guys are mostly confident in him. It's that I just couldn't believe that, wow, like, this is incredible. Like, 28% of you said that you are very, very confident in the quarterback room. Now, maybe it's just because the vocal minority is the loudest minority here, but we heard a lot of people that were already out on Aidan Chiles. So while I thought that, yes, like more than 50% of this fan base was still all in on Aidan Chiles, I don't know it's be as high as 86%, with 28% also saying that they were the highest confidence in Aidan Chiles. So, hey, they see the vision just like I do. I am right with the 28%. I am feeling good about Aidan Chiles, and that is because of the strong wide receivers. That's because of the additions they made to the offensive line this offseason, and also keeping your coaching staff and even adding the quarterback coach from Oregon State over the offseason. There should be no excuses for him not to have a solid year coming up. I was also surprised to see 61% confidence in the offensive line. This is a position that has really not been stellar the last few years. I've actually lost count of how many years it's been since we felt really good about our offensive line. So, hey, look, I am hopeful. I'm optimistic. I like that there's depth. I like Matt Goldman, the transfer. I like Connor Moore, the transfer. But wow, that is, I was a little surprised to see more than 50% of people already confident in this unit before the ball has even been snapped. Now, the last one that I just want to riff on here, Special teams is a hard one to vote on, guys, because it's your punter. Okay, well, that's one of the best in the nation. You should feel really good about that. That could be your returners that you're thinking about. Okay, sure, absolutely. Yeah, why not? I mean, we feel pretty solid about Amari Kelly in that role. But field goal kicker, that could be that could be what makes or breaks this season. Not to go all hyperbolic and sensationalism, but I'm a little scared about kicker. So you add all those three things, you shake it up, and then, hey, does that one glaring mystery outweigh the other two things that are either good or elite? I don't know. It might be that big of an issue, guys. So I am, with the rest of you, I am less than confident with the special teams unit as a whole, just because that kicker is just what a mystery that is going to be this season, starting in week 1. We'll see if either of our first two kickers are even healthy for week 1. My God, what a circumstance to already be in. All right, guys, we're going to be joined here by Brian Lewerke here in the hot segment. First, need to talk all your ears off about Rugiet. That is right, guys. Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra, Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them. But if you're really looking for something beyond the usual pill, it is time to get Rugiet Ready. Now, Rugiet Ready is a next-gen prescription treatment designed to amplify arousal in the brain and boost blood flow. Unlike usual pills that can take hours, Rugiet's 3-in-1 formula dissolves under your tongue and kicks in fast, on average, in 15 minutes. Effects can last up to 36 hours, so you can stay confident and in control when the moment is right. You can even read real customer reviews on their site. That's helping a lot of people feel more confident and present in the moment. Head to Rugiet.com/LockedOnCollege and use code LockedOnCollege to get 15% off today. That is RUGIET.com/LockedOnCollege and use promo code LockedOnCollege for 15% off. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturer review. Please visit the Rugiet website for full safety information. We're going to be talking about our dual threat quarterback, Aidan Chiles, here in a hot second, but why leave it to just me? We're going to bring on the guy that, just graduated from Michigan State with the most offensive yards with 9,548 yards between passing and rushing. I haven't even driven my car that many yards this month. This guy did it all as a 3-year starter at Michigan State. No more introduction is even needed. It's Brian Lewerke. Brian, thanks a ton for, against all odds, coming back on this show. And with a week and a half-ish until kickoff, Brian, let's go back into the locker room, the field. What are the vibes like right now as a player? Is it jitters? Is it butterflies? Are you still cool, calm, and collected? Just kind of in an odd spot. Not super close to kickoff and not super far away.
Yeah, so I think at this point, you're kind of nearing up the end of camp. You've been in camp for a couple of weeks now. Your body's starting to recover as it kind of grinds or it comes down a little bit with the amount of reps and the amount of work on your body. So starting to feel a little better. The jitters are definitely there because, it's been 9 months since the last time you were playing in Spartan Stadium. And when you get that feeling of walking out for the first time again, it's awesome. So I'm sure there's definitely a little bit of jitters, but once that first snap goes in the first game, you're good.
I think this is a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it anyway here. The Friday night to start the season, is that largely a sign of approval from the players? Do you guys mostly like that? Or are there some guys that'd rather just start on Saturday at noon like old times?
I think I enjoyed it. I think I had it one time, maybe not a lot, maybe twice, but I enjoy it because you get that the first game on a Friday. You have all day Saturday to go watch film, and then you get to watch college football as a fan the entire day. And it's awesome because you get to watch the games that are around the league. It's the first week in college football, so there's obviously a ton of good games. So I enjoyed it, especially you obviously got to get the win on Friday or else Saturday doesn't feel as good.
That helps. Right.
But Friday night games I did enjoy as a player.
Excellent. And so, hey, look, we're going to hope for a win on Friday, and it's going to have to come down, to a lot of parts, as every football game does, but all eyes are going to be on Aidan Chiles here just to see how fast he can get out of the gate this season. So, look, the last segment I just spent entirely talking about everyone's confidence in each position group on this field. For quarterback, there was the 4 options: extremely confident, kind of worried, extremely worried. Kind of confident led the way with 58%, extremely confident 27%, and then kind of worried 11%, extremely worried 2% of people out there are extremely worried. So of those 4 options, Brian, how are you feeling about Aidan Chiles? Now I will say, because I know you do a podcast, You are the program. The
Sir.
professional podcast answer would be extremely worried. You want to like stir the pot.
Yeah.
Real get some numbers going.
Engagement.
Right, exactly. Any eyeballs are good eyeballs to have. But if you want to answer it earnestly, where are you at? Extremely confident, kind of worried, or are you extremely worried?
No, I'm definitely not extremely worried. I'm leaning
Okay.
more towards extremely confident. I'm kind of in between, almost nearing that edge. I think he showed a lot of promise last year. Obviously, he was his first year playing an entire year. So you get some of those jitters out, those first year learning curve. But he has the arm to do pretty much any throw on the field. He can make plays with his feet, as we've seen many times. So I think it's mostly just the mental game for him and figuring that out and making sure he has a plan on each play, depending on what the defense gives and basically knowing what the defense is going to run before they do it because you've been watching so much film. Obviously, they're going to throw some new stuff out there that you haven't seen before. But you got to trust your plays and be able to go out there and perform. And I think he's going to do that. So I'm leaning more towards extremely confident.
So next Friday, like, what's the number one thing that you'll be looking at? I mean, because for me, it's something pretty basic. It's just accuracy. I mean, he had a few issues last year, of course. Accuracy was definitely one of them. It wasn't a total disaster, but could be improved on, of course. Is it something basic like that for you? Is there something a little more like intricate in the weeds that you're going to be looking for on Friday?
No, I think that's a good assessment. Is just seeing if he's putting the ball in the right spot, obviously making good decisions and throwing to the right guy, not forcing stuff. The difference between trying to force a perfect throw and making that throw, or just being ignorant and just trying to make a play out of nothing. So I'm looking for him to be accurate, 100%, putting the ball. If it's an out route, putting it right on the guy's shoulder, let him turn upfield and go get some extra yards. You're not trying to hit the guy in the back hip so he just falls down for 9 yards. So
sure,
that's probably, I think, the main thing, because that was like his biggest knock last year was the accuracy. So I'm definitely looking to see how he improved in the offseason with that.
Now, it's clear that you also had the legs to go along with your arm, too. So you certainly had some playmaking capability back when you played at Michigan State. There's no question there. But the question is how do you toe the line between trying to make too many plays to the point where you get yourself in trouble, kind of like we saw last year in that Boston College game, but also not overcorrecting to the point where you're not trying as many times and it might be a little too conservative? That might even be a tougher question to answer than actually doing it itself. But like, how did you strike a balance with doing that?
Yeah, I think it's all reactionary. It's all instincts. Normally, you're only going to get yelled at if you do something wrong. So if you're making the right play and it's working, then I would say keep doing it. It's kind of something that can't really be taught. And I think he has the arm to make any throw on the field wherever he's at. So that's probably why he has that confidence to be able to make throws and try and extend the plays, because he knows at least 8 out of 10 times he's going to be able to do it. So he's going to try and do it. So there's a very fine line, and I think it all just kind of comes down to instincts and kind of something you can't really teach, but he has whatever that is.
I think I said this after the Boston College game too. He reminded me of how I play with Mike Vick on Madden. We're like, yes, I can run around. I can extend this play by what seems to be 20 seconds. And yeah, I do have the arm to throw this thing 65 yards downfield. Unfortunately, when I would do it, also I played Madden, it'd be in triple coverage. And oh my God, I should have not done that. But yeah, like, I don't know, does it sound stupid, or is there something to it that like he is like a little too physically gifted sometimes for his own good, especially last year as a young player? I think he just fell into that early on and eventually grew out of it last season. So hopefully
I think the thing is he just has the arm to do whatever he wants for the most part. So he just tries to take advantage of it whenever he can. So
I would too. Let's be honest. I mean, it'd be great to sling the ball 70 yards downfield seemingly, but hey, whatever. Look, what do you expect to change from the offense this year? Like, is there a next chapter of this playbook, especially with the guys that they added in a speedy slot receiver? What is next for this offense here starting in week 1?
I don't think they're going to come out with any crazy plays and any crazy stuff, but they obviously did upgrade it at the wide receiver position pretty substantially. So I would expect a little bit more throwing. Obviously, Michigan State and Jonathan Smith, Brian Lindgren, they're pound the rock type of program, type of coaches. So they're obviously going to want to establish the run. Any good team has to have a good run game. But I think they're definitely going to be airing the ball out a little more with a quarterback that could go in the first round and then maybe next year, the year after. And then some wide receivers that have some very good talent. I definitely expect them to be throwing the ball a good amount.
If you're running a business, every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you needed a service. If the first person didn't answer, did you wait? Probably not. I'm going to guess that you went ahead and you just moved on. That's why you need Open Phone, so you never miss an opportunity to connect with your customers. Open Phone is the #1 business phone system designed to streamline and scale your customer communications. Do you juggle 2 phones just to keep business and personal calls separate? Well, Open Phone will solve that instantly. And the AI agent handles after-hour calls, answers common questions, and captures leads, so you never have to miss a customer again, guys. See why over 60,000 businesses trust Open Phone. They're offering Locked On listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/lockedoncollege. That's openphone.com/lockedoncollege. They'll even port over your existing numbers for free. Open Phone, no missed calls, no missed customers. Also, guys, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Preseason's already heating up, and as you know it, college football isn't too far behind. And whether you've got a big-name quarterback or breakout running backs on your radar, Prize Picks makes it easy to stay in the game. And they're already turning it up, guys, for this first weekend of college football in week 0, because they got one of their max discounts already on the board. Avery Johnson. That's right. I just go ahead with more than 0.5 passing yards. That's right. If the Wildcats just complete a pass by Avery Johnson, that leg has already won. Congratulations, guys. It's so easy to get started with Prize Picks. So how it works, you pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, like passing yards, for example, receiving yards, rushing touchdowns. They got a whole slate of stats you could choose from. And if you get your picks right, you can cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. How about that, guys? Did that a little bit here and there last season, especially with the Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah, those were good guys to have on your slips last year. Not too shabby. Prize Picks puts all their members first, so all your withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 in play. Prize Picks, run your game. So, like, with the talented stable of receivers that this team does have, they kind of revamped the offensive line, definitely more depth. There is reason that it could and should be better this year. As a former quarterback, like, what would light up your eyes more? Seeing, like, a solid offensive line or seeing just weapons all around receiver? You could only pick one. What is going to get you smiling from ear to ear, Brian?
Man, that is tough because I think I would choose a good offensive line because one, quarterbacks don't like to get hit. First of all, 2, it's a lot easier to make a throw when you can step into the throw and not have to weave in and out of the pocket or throw off your back foot because there's a guy in your face. So I feel like him and myself can make a throw in the pocket when you have a clean pocket versus a dirty one to kind of any guy on the field. Obviously, we have very good receivers, but I would prefer, I think, to have an offensive line just because I'm sure Aiden trusts his arm to be able to make the throw. I trusted my arm back when I was in school to make the throw. So,
yeah, I mean, it certainly seems like it. I mean, because for both you guys, honestly, and seemed to work out when you're at State. Hopefully it works out for Aidan Chiles as he enters year 2 of being a starter here. And look, between year 1 and year 2 of being a starter, where was your biggest area of growth? Was it mental, physical? Where was it at?
Yeah, it was definitely mental, I think. It was kind of because I played a little bit my redshirt freshman year. I did bulk up a little bit because I broke my leg. I couldn't really move. But I put on some good weight, which was good. Definitely, I gained about 20 pounds, so that definitely helped. And then just that mental side of the game and being able to diagnose defenses. I still don't think I was perfect at it by any means, but it definitely does grow and grow and grow every year because you get more experience, you get longer time with the coaching staff, longer time with the same plays that the coaches are running. So, I would say more so mental game for myself.
What helps the most year after year? Is it just learning the playbook or is it chemistry with receivers? Like, which one is more important to have longevity with?
I think chemistry with receivers because you kind of like you obviously want to know the correct like play that you're running and know the correct route, but you kind of get a sense of the guy. And if everything else fails, you trust that guy to go make a catch. Like back in my day, it was Felton Davis. Whenever I saw one-on-one with him in the end zone, or if I saw a crucial third down or something, I know I'm throwing to him because he's going to go up and get the ball. It didn't matter really what play it was. I was going to throw the ball to him. So I would prefer just trusting the guy over, kind of really diagnosing.
I did want to ask something along the lines of that. Is that a few years ago, all the time on Twitter, you'd see the meme of F it, Jaden Reed down there somewhere with just the picture paints were hawking the ball down there. And that was a pretty successful play. And I was going to ask, did you ever have anyone like that? I figured it could be Felton Davis, but yeah, that seems to be a pretty easy answer. It sounds like, that's a good offensive play. Like, was there ever just a time where the offensive coordinator just, signed in 18, just throw the ball to 18? Did ever just get that simple? No, okay.
But he would call this play. We called it Thunder. It was basically just like you run a hitch route if the corner's off, you run a fade if the corner's pressed.
Okay.
And I think he would call that. Coach Warner would call that in that situation when he knew they were going to be pressed and he knew Felton was going to be one-on-one. So I'm like, all right, I know where to go. I'm throwing to him.
Excellent. That's perfect. I want to go back to just, opening week, your experiences there. And are the emotions for week one any different than the next 11 games? Like, is it more excitement than nerves? Is it more nerves than excitement? Or what's like the mixture there just going into week one with so many unknowns?
I think it kind of ebbs and flows throughout the entire season. You're definitely excited in that first game. A little bit of nerves, but I would say more so excited, and you may be doing some things that you normally wouldn't do later on in the season just because it's your first time in real game action and you want to make something happen. But obviously once you get deeper on the season, you get those big games, the nerves obviously start creeping in, especially if you're having a good season and you're like, all right, this is a game that could mean a lot for us down the run. This is where we're going to need to perform at our best. So the nerves definitely creep in later on in the season, I would say.
And I just got a broad question too. Like, as a player, what is your favorite part of opening day? Because mine is just vibes can't be better in the parking lot before the game. Team's undefeated. Stripe the stadium. Like, it is just euphoric being a fan in the stands. But you guys probably got to be a little more dialed in. So, what is your favorite part of opening night whenever that happened?
I think it's just a blank slate. It's a clean team. It's a brand new team. You're trying to figure out your guys and who's going to be the guy that year, who's going to be the guy that steps up. And you kind of get, especially on the offensive side, like kind of your identity is kind of built throughout the first 3 or 4 games, especially in the first game. You're trying to figure that out. So just start with like a clean slate and knowing that it only goes up from here. Whether you win or lose, it'll only go up from here. So that's kind of what I enjoyed.
Can I bring up a game that almost did not start the season on a clean slate? This would be the 2018 Utah State game, which turned out sick team. I think they lost twice the entire year. A guy by the name of Jordan Love was the quarterback. This team was a wagon coming into Spartan Stadium. You guys had to have a drive with less than 5 minutes to go in the game to win that one. Did it ever get to pucker time on the sideline, or was there always a confidence there? And look, you can be honest. This was 7 years ago. I know that we all want to be brave and say it with confidence. Oh, we never doubted, but truly, really?
I don't think it's hard to remember. I don't think the chance that hey, we might lose this game crept in until because they had the ball. We were up 7, I think, or at least 4, and they had the ball. They had to go down and score a touchdown. Obviously, Joe Bocci picks off Jordan Love with a minute and a half left.
That helped. Yeah.
So I think once that last drive started, I was like, dang, we could actually go to overtime or maybe lose this team. But during the game, I was like, yeah, we're just going to keep scoring. It's fine. We keep scoring.
Yeah.
But no, not till the end of the game and then obviously I had confidence in my defense to make a play, but we definitely got a little testy there.
Because I also remember leaving that game too. And I wasn't so nervous that we just barely beat Utah State. I remember leaving that game being like, that team was really good, actually. My God, who scheduled this team?
Yeah, no kidding.
Here? So, that had to be the same sentiment that you guys had too. Did you guys just realize halfway through the game, oh God, these guys could actually probably go 500 in the Big Ten if they played here this year?
Yeah, especially with Jordan Love. Obviously, we didn't know who he was at the time, but we could tell he was a good quarterback. He was 6'5". He's throwing darts all over the field. So
yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Fun. Do you have a fun opening night game? I'm sorry, I just highlighted the worst one possible for you. But okay.
It's hard to remember who we opened with every year.
Tulsa in 2019, 2017 was
Bowling Green in 17.
It was Bowling Green. You're right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that one's because that was my first year starting. I remember the couple touchdowns I threw. I think one to Felton, one to Matt Sokol, I think.
Excellent. Nice. Some good trivia.
So just getting that first time in Spartan Stadium starting the season off was pretty fun.
Last question I have for you, and this is my hardest hitting one. I put a lot of thought into this, but just the other day, I referenced your long touchdown run against Western, because I just brought that up. Hey, what if Aidan Chiles did that against Western? He did it in the scrimmage on Saturday. So the question is, Brian, do you remember that? Do you remember that run? That was so cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that run. It was an RPO, and we have a check on it if I see man coverage, just to can the RPO and just do a read option and just reading the DN and pulling it.
Yeah.
And so I checked out of the pass option of the RPO, and obviously read the DN pretty well. The safety flew down with him too. Yeah. And I took off, and when you're running an open field like that, it feels like you're going to fall forward the entire time.
Okay. Interesting.
Run so fast, and I feel like someone's going to catch me. And I just need to pick my knees up, but your knees won't pick up. Right. So it feels like you're going to fall forward, and then I got in the end zone. I didn't really know what to do because I just run so long. So I think I just raised my arms up or something.
You know what? You did raise your arms because we were in section 16 right behind the goalpost, and we were up there. So you know what? Bonus question. That you were pointing to me and my wife, right?
Yeah, 100%.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Excellent. Oh yeah, certainly. Okay. I figured. I just wanted to double check. Yeah. So that's fascinating because is it almost like a too good to be true moment when you're just in that much open field where you almost start overthinking it? Is it?
Yeah, I think if you look at the replay, I was looking back every step I was taking. Someone's got to be here. No one was there.
I know that was a great moment. So hopefully we can get that great of a moment from Aidan Chiles on Friday, man. So, I could feel it right now. There's a crisp air going on in Metro Detroit right now that I just got a good taste of. Oh,
yeah. It just started cooling off here in Philly a little bit, too. It feels great.
See. Oh, man. I'm excited. I'm excited. Well, guys, that's Brian. Brian, anything you want to plug? You doing a podcast these days you want to plug before we let you go? Yeah,
we me Dante Rosano, Tyler Higbee, all former players. We have a You Are the Program podcast is the name of it. We just started uploading to YouTube. We upload to Apple Pod and Spotify. So if you want to tune in, you can. It's great. It's a fun pod. We try and have fun sometimes. So
yeah, you guys do a great job with it too. So yeah, all three of you guys sensational, and everyone else that's sensational. That's right. It's you, the viewers, the listeners of Locked On Spartans, and yeah, we're gonna be back tomorrow because we do this 5 days a week leading up till kickoff and beyond, as you guys already know it. But guys, hey, until next time, take care of yourselves. Love you all. Go Green.